Most people think credit cards are the problem, but the truth is using them the wrong way is. And it could cost you thousands of dollars in interest every year while dragging down your credit score. Stick with me for a few minutes and I want to go through 5 powerful credit card hacks to help you pay less, increase your credit score faster, and take control of your finances. For those that are new, welcome to the channel. I'm Dexter, and we cover strategies and tactics to help you get better at managing your money. Let's go. Hack number 1. Stop playing the minimum payment game. This is the biggest trap, minimum payments. They're designed to keep you stuck. If you're like most people I work with, you have a few credit cards and are making the minimum payment on each one. And this is very costly because the average American pays over $1,000 per year in interest alone. Because paying the minimum payment really is covering mostly the interest and not the balance, right? So we know you got to pay extra principal to bring that balance down. And this is not happening once you pay the minimum payments. So let's look at an example of what this could look like. This is how a $3,000 credit card balance can take years to pay. As you can see here, we're at 16 years and counting if we are making the minimum payment. But hey, if we pay an extra $100 a month, every month, on top of that minimum payment, this is 2 years and it's gone. This debt is gone, it's wiped out, right? So this is how we want to take back control, of our finances. So instead of asking what's the minimum I owe, we need to start asking ourselves, how quickly can we get rid of this debt? How can I quickly eliminate this balance? And we've got 2 methods that we use to eliminate this, right? There's one of 2 methods you can use. One is called the debt snowball method. And this is where we pay extra principal on the debt or credit card with the lowest balance first, while we are making the minimum payment on all of the other debts, all the other credit cards. The second method that you can choose is called the debt avalanche method. And this is where we go after the highest interest credit card first, while making the minimum payment on the other debt. I can tell you both of them work. You will be paid off within a month or 2 if you choose both of them and work both of them. So whichever one that you want to choose, just stick with it until you get that debt paid off, right? So that's how we're gonna eliminate this debt quicker. That's hack number 1, right? Getting that out of our life. Hack number 2, master your credit utilization ratio. Credit utilization really is how much your available balance you're using. So for instance, you think about your credit card balance over your credit limit. And improving this ratio can have a dramatic impact on increasing your credit score by 50 to 100 points really, really fast, right? So for example, if we look here at example 1, we've got a limit of $5,000 with this credit card, and you're carrying a balance of $2,500. The utilization ratio here is 2,500 divided by 5,000, which is 50%, right? The key here is that most people think as long as I'm paying my bill and paying it on time, I'm fine. Not so fast. And that's because even if you're paying on time, that utilization is still 50%. And that ratio is high. And the reason it's high is that if you think about the credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, when they're calculating your credit score, they're looking for that utilization ratio to be at 30% or less, right? Ideally, if you think about the top creditors here, the ones who've got, say if you have a credit score of 800 or higher, typically the average one, you have 10% utilization or less. So you're using 10% of your credit or less, right? So that's kind of where they want to push you. So right now in this example, right here, we're at 50%. So we're below that recommended 30%. So it's really not going to improve our credit. But there's one thing we can do to start improving our credit pretty quickly, and that's pick up the phone, call your credit card company, and ask for a credit limit increase. Yes, a credit limit increase. And most of them will do it. So if you're in good standing, think about Citibank, American Express, all your credit card companies out there. If you've had that card for a year or more and you're in good standing, most of them will do it. They'll just pull your credit, make sure everything's on the up with that account, and then they will improve it. Now you can see what this in example number 2 here. Let's see how that plays out from a utilization standpoint. Now you've went from a limit of 5,000 to 10,000, kept your balance the same. So that's 2,500 over 10,000 now. So your utilization is 25%. And now it's below the 30% that the credit bureaus are looking for. And you haven't paid any extra payments yet. The only thing you've done is made one phone call, right? So that one phone call there can have a significant impact on accelerating the improvement of your credit score. So let's just make sure that we go after this one right here first. That's hack number 2. Hack number 3, timing matters more than you think. While most people focus on how much they pay, but they ignore when they pay. And there are 2 key dates if you look at your credit card statement. The 2 key dates are statement closing date and the payment due date. Most of us focus on that payment due date, whereas the credit score is affected mostly by that statement closing date. And the reason it is because whatever your balance is at that statement closing date, that's what get reported to the credit bureaus. So you could pay it off at zero, the due date, but if that due date is beyond the closing date, balance is still being reported to the credit bureaus in that instance, right? So we want to make sure that our payments are being made before the statement closes date. So what you need to do is take out your app, your phone, calendar, open your credit card statement, find that statement closing date and mark it on your calendar as your new due date. What I like to do is say, hey, that could fall on a weekend. So worst case scenario, sometimes it may fall on a holiday on a Monday, right? So you've got to back that up 2-3 days. So for me, I like to say, okay, let's take 3 days before that date and let's make sure that payment is made by then. That way, even if it falls on a weekend, the payment's made, it's captured, and now that balance is reduced accordingly. Now, you do this consistently for 90 days, you will see an improvement in your credit score. That's just how the process works. That is hack number 3. Hack number 4, never pay interest again. And this is where most people flip the game in their favor. They don't use the credit card to borrow money, got to use it pretty much like a debit card. So this is where we're using it as a spending tool, and we're going to pay this off in full every month now. So if you think about the charges that you have and everything that you're charging, this really, your credit card, you think of as the middleman. It's going between your bank and what you're spending. So 2 things that, positively happen when you approach it this way. It keeps you out of debt or reduces the debt that you're in, right? If you take this approach. And it also builds your credit at the same time. So this here allows us to build momentum. But the key kicker here is making sure we get that down to zero when we're paying that balance off before that statement closes date, because we know any money showing at the statement closes date, that's when that 20%, 24%, 29% APR kicks in, right? And that interest just starts to get compounded if you keep doing that every month. Now, this year, carrying that balance is the single most expensive financial habit that most people have, because they're not aware that, hey, they should pay it by the statement closes date, right? So this is something we want to take advantage of here for hack number 4. Hack number 5, this is where the fun begins, really, when it comes to your credit card. We want to turn your card into a rewards engine. Yes, a rewards engine. This is where you can start having fun. By that, I mean anything that you put on the card, and we don't want to just add stuff to the card. We want to make sure that we're charging our groceries, our gas, and that sort of thing with the card. But we want to make sure that we can pay that off in full. So if it's not in your bank account, it shouldn't be charged. That's the approach that we need to take here. But the other whammy, the positive, is that the points you accumulate could be airline miles, could be hotel points, right? Could be cash back that you accumulate here by just being strategic with your spend and by being disciplined with making sure it's paid off. One of the approaches we can take to make sure that we're disciplined with our payoff is they use auto pay. So every month, set that date before the statement closes date that, hey, we want to auto pay that statement balance. So that way we are paying the balance down to zero. We're getting those points. We are also not negatively being penalized by having some money carry over past the statement date, right? So this is where you start, building a system to allow you to win the credit card game. So there you have it, the 5 hacks to allow you to win the game. The first one, we just need to start with one. So the first one I would recommend is picking up the phone, calling the credit card company, now getting that credit limit increase. Another one you can do immediately is pulling out your statement, looking at that statement date, and identifying that on your calendar, setting an alarm to make sure it's paid off, and step through them accordingly like that. So if you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone that you think can benefit from the information. See you in the next video.